Okay, now that the month of Tishrei is over, we're going to go back to where we were before Elul. And then we were learning the dinim of the tefillos and Shabbos. So we learned about candle lighting, and we're in the middle of learning about the the various tefillos of Shabbos, davening. Now, there's the Friday night davening. Okay, let's go back a little bit. On Shabbos, we don't say the 19 brachos that we do during the Chol, even though ideally we should. But it says the Chacham didn't want to bother people. The Shabbos, you should daven. Davening's long enough as it is. So they made it 7 brachos, 3 at the beginning, 3 at the end, and 1 bracha in the middle called Mekadosh Shabbos, which by the way is a very important din involved with that. What happens if on Friday night or Shabbos day, somebody says, Baruch Atah Hashem Hakel HaKadosh, and out of habit they said, Atah Chein L'Adam Das, and then they realized it's Shabbos. So the din is, you finish that bracha. Because really that bracha should be said on Shabbos. We just don't. But if you started it, if you just said Atah, so then you have Atah Kidashta, the different tefillos of Shabbos to begin with Atah. But if somebody said, let's say, out of habit, you're in that tefillah somewhere out of space and you're davening, and you say, Baruch Atah Hashem Hakel HaKadosh, Atah Chein, and then you say, oh my gosh, it's Shabbos. So you finish the bracha, Baruch Atah Hashem Chein Hadas, and then you go back to Shabbos davening, where you're supposed to be going to. What?
Why is it a bad sign to say the...
Why is it a bad sign? It says in halacha it's a bad sign because you should be davening Shabbos and you're not.
But it's...
Yeah, but the fact is the minig now is that we don't say those tefillas. And if the minig is we don't say those tefillas, so you don't say it. But if you began a bracha, we don't want you to say whatever, part of a bracha in vain. So you finish that bracha. By the way, if you said 3 brachas of the week, then you realized you just finished the bracha that you're in. Because what happens, there's another din similar to this Bukhlal. What happens, somebody is in the middle of mincha, and then they realize, I daven mincha already. Now they're in the middle of the Amidah of Shemon Esrei, and then let's say a third of the way through, halfway through, because they went to an early minyan somewhere for mincha, then they forgot, they came to shul, they forgot they daven mincha. So then the din is, you have to stop cold turkey in the middle of the bracha. If you're in the middle of a bracha, you stop the bracha, because if you're going to say the end of the bracha, Baruch Atah Hashem, you're saying a bracha in vain, because you already davened. So sometimes you stop cold turkey, because you're saying a bracha in vain. But if you're saying a weekday bracha on Shabbos, it's not really in vain, because they should be saying it, but we don't. So again, it just comes out an interesting difference in halacha.
So if you said Atah Chonen, you have to finish all things.
Correct. No, just a bracha.
Just what I'm saying, Atah Chonen.
Yeah. Huh?
Is it also maybe don't make personal requests?
Yeah, but the main reason is because the Chacham, but you have another interesting thing. Mincha, we just have a mincha. Yeah, we just said Ashrei. We didn't say Volotzion. When did we say Volotzion? In the morning today. Ashrei Volotzion. After, Tachnun, or no Tachnun, whatever, we say Ashrei Volotzion. Shabbos, when do we say by mincha Ashrei Volotzion? Why Shabbos do we say the mincha, and during the week we say the shachris? So again, Shulchan Aruch says, because the davening is long enough, the Chum said, let's cut out what we can and do it later. So Volotzion is a very important tefillah. So in the morning it's a long davening, we just say Ashrei before Musaf. And to Mincha we add, because Mincha is a shorter davening, so we say Volotzion. That's the reason. It's interesting, people just to be aware of what we do and the reasons why we do it. Because that's what the Chazal instituted. We say to Mincha rather than in the morning. But anyway, there's a tefillah Friday night, there's a tefillah Shabbos morning, and there's a tefillah Shabbos to Mincha. So in a lot of Siddurim, they don't have this difference. Basically, the Shemon Esrei is the same. Shachris and Musaf is exactly the same, except the added part of Musaf, that, Bato Korbanos. But if you notice, Friday night, in the main bracha, L'keinu v'l'kei aviseinu, L'tzeinu v'mnuchaseinu. So over there we say, V'anchilenu Hashem Elokeinu ba'ava v'rozin Shabbos kodshacha. And then we say, V'yanuchu va. Va. Shachris and Musaf. In the same bracha we say, V'yanuchu vai. Kol Yisrael mekatche shmech. At Mincha Shabbos, a lot of people daven every Shabbos. They don't realize. Just davening, because not in every nusach they have that. By Shachris and Musaf, but in Mincha, we say V'yanuchu vam, plural. Kol Yisrael mekatche shmecha. Okay, V'yanuchu also is V'yanuchu va, vai, and va, vam. What's the difference? These are Poshet, 3 different levels of Shabbos. It's interesting, if you open the Siddurim, because you'll see it, it's very interesting. And there's Kiddush Friday night, there's Kiddush Shabbos day, and then there's B'nai Hechol Mizmor David that we say at Mincha, okay? So if you look in the Kiddush on 178, right before Kiddush, you say Askinu Sudasa, or organizing the meal, the Maldoi Sudasa. This is the meal on page 178. Okay? What do we say? Chakal Tapuch and Kadishin. This is the meal of the Holy Apple Orchard. Ze'er Ampin, the small face. Va'atika Kadisha, and the level of Atik. Okay? So that's the order of Friday night. If you look Shabbos day, by Kiddush, you say like this, Askinu Sudasa, on page 248. In the second paragraph, 248, we say, Doi Sudasa, Da'atiko Kadisha first, then Chakal Tapuch and Kadishin, then Ze'er Anpin. Friday night, first we say Chakal Tapuch and Kadishin, then Ze'er Anpin, then Vatika Kadisha. Shabbos to Mincha, there's no Kiddush, but if you look on 270, we have Mizmor David ben Echola. So on 270, it says, Doi Sudasa, Dezer Ampin, Vatika Kadisha, and then Chakal Tapuch and Kadishin. So there's this order of, there's 3 things. There's Atika Kadisha, Chakal Tapuch and Kadishin, and Ze'er Anpin. Okay? Now, why is there a split? Difference. Why isn't it all the same? It's connected also to Va, Vai, and Vam. Because there's 3, Kabbalistically, there's 3 levels of Shabbos. There's Friday night, Shabbos morning until midday, and after midday is the holiest time of Shabbos, which is called Raiva D'Chol Raivin, will of all wills. That's the highest level. So they're all the same. They all have something in common. They have the Chakal Tapuch and Kaddish and Zer Ampin Atika Kaddisha. But the difference is in the order based on the level of Shabbos, of Friday night, Shabbos morning, and Shabbos afternoon. Now I guarantee you, most people say it and they don't realize there's a different order. Even the because another Nuschois, not a Pikabala, it just says Yunuchu Vai, I think all of them, or Yunuchu Va by all of them. But it's this Vai, Vam, Vai, Va, Vai, Vam. Those are the 3 levels of Shabbos. Okay, now, Shabbos, in the davenings, we also have what's called Musaf. Okay, now why do we do Musaf, Korban Musaf and Shabbos? Because any time there is a Yom Tif Minat Torah, Hashem commanded to bring a Korban Musaf that we read in the Kriyas Torah, in the davening. We read in Musaf the Korban that they brought for that day in honor of whether it's Rosh Chodesh or Chol HaMoed or Yom Tif. That's when we have now. Rosh Chodesh, Rosh Chodesh they also had a Korban. So we have Musaf on Rosh Chodesh. Chanukah, it's a rabbinic holiday. So there's no Korban Musaf on Chanukah. That's why you don't daven Musaf on Chanukah or Purim, because they're rabbinic. The biblical Yomim Tovim, the Torah says, Ubiyem HaShabbos Shnei Chavasim B'nei Shana Tamimim, U'v'Rosh Chodshechem, all the different karbonis. So therefore, biblical Yomim Tevim, Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, Chol HaMoed, Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkot, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, there's a special carbon musaf, additional musaf means additional. So there's a carbon musaf, additional carbon, so we have carbon tefillas musaf. Chanukah and Purim are rabbinic, so there's no biblical musaf for them. So therefore we don't have musaf on Chanukah and Purim. Okay? But Kabbalistically it goes a little bit deeper than that. We know that the Gemara says, the Medrash says, the Kabbalah brings it down a lot. Chamisha Shemis Nikru Lo. The Medrash said, the Gemara says, the Neshama has 5 names. Chamisha Shemis Nikru Lo, 5 names are called for the Neshama. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, Yechida. That's the 5 names given to the Neshama. In my Morim Chassidus it says, that's only the names of the Neshama. Even Yechida is only a name of the Neshama. The essence of the Neshama is even greater than Yechida, whatever. But that's not for now. So it says, during the week, what level, so I'm sorry, Chassidus explained, these are not 5 names. You don't need 5 names for the same thing. So obviously it's 5 different levels of the Neshama. So Nefesh, according to Chassidus, is the action level of the soul. Ruach are the emotions of the soul. Neshama is the intellect of the neshama of the soul. Chaya is the willpower of the neshama. And Yechida is the essence of the neshama. Okay? So these 5 distinct levels of different levels of the neshama. So it says like this in Kabbalah and Chassidus, that during the week, what level of the neshama is revealed in the body? It's not a holy day, it's a mundane day. So nefesh, ruach, and neshama, the action, the emotions, and the intellect, that's the level of the neshama that's functioning openly in the body. Therefore, we have 3 davenings, 3 tefillas, Ma'ariv, Shachris, Mincha, corresponding with nefesh, ruach, and neshama. Shabbos, Yom Tiv, Rosh Chodesh is a holier Yom Tiv, right? It's a holier day. So on that day, the level of chaya of the neshama is revealed within the Jew. Therefore, we have 4 tefillas. Shabbos, Yom Tiv, Rosh Chodesh, Chol HaMoed. We have 4 tefillas. On Yom Kippur, Achaz Bashana, we have 5 tefillas. We have Ne'ilah. Why do we have 5 left tefillas on Yom Kippur? Because on Yom Kippur, the essence of the Jew, the Yechidah Shebenafesh, is also revealed. So therefore, we have, during the week, we have 3 tefillas, nefesh, ruach, neshama. Shabbos, Yom Tiv, Rosh Chodesh, Chol HaMoed, it's a holier day. Right? There was an extra korban, so it was more kedusha. So we have 4 tefillas. And Yom Kippur, we have 5 tefillas corresponding with the 5 levels of the neshama. That's why the holiest time on Yom Kippur is Ne'ilah, because that's the time when it represents the 5th level of the neshama, which is the essence of the neshama. So this is the concept of why we have, during the week, 3 tefillas, and during the Shabbos and Yom Tov, we have 4 tefillas, and Yom Kippur 5. Now, simply the reason is, according to the Gemara halacha, why do we have 2 tefillas, Shachris and Mincha? Because they had a morning carbon tamid shel babaker, and then you have carbon tamid shel bein arbayim, the carbon tamid in the afternoon. So that's why now that we don't have a Beis Hamikdash, davening is instead of karbanos. So now we have Shachris and Mincha corresponding with the morning carbon and the afternoon carbon. Why do we have Ma'ariv, Arivith? Why do we have Ma'ariv? Because the leftover, the Gemara says, the leftover limbs and fats that didn't have a chance to burn on the Mizbeach during the day, they would continue burning them at night. So that's why we have Tfilas Arvis. That's why there's a big argument in the Gemara between Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yeshua if it's Choiva or if Ma'ariv is Choiva or Reshus, if it's mandatory or optional. But the halacha today is that it's mandatory because Jews accept it upon themselves. That's in addition to the fact that Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, the Gemara learns out, Rashi says this in Chumash, Avram instituted Shachris, Yitzchak instituted L'suach Basada L'fneis Arev, when he found Rivka over there. And Yaakov, Vayolon Sham, by the dream, he instituted Tfilas Ma'ariv. So we have 3 tefillahs during the week. So halachically, it's for the 2 karbanis and the leftover fats burning at night. Okay? And also Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. But, one second, it could be Kabbalah, it's 3 levels of the neshama, 4 levels of the neshama, 5 levels of the neshama that we have. So, in fact, it's interesting, it's also brought down as well, we'll finish with this, that Avram made Shachris, Yitzchak made Mincha, and Yaakov made Ma'ariv, Arvis, right? So it says in Svarim that the second letter of Avram is a Bais, which stands for Boker. Second letter of Yitzchak is a Tzadik, which means Saharayim, afternoon. The second letter of Yaakov's name is Ayin, which is Arvis. So even in their names is alluded to the fact that the second letter is Baiker, Tzorayim, and Erev. So ever Baiker, but Tzorayim, we have, what do you want?
If the Arvit is basically because the third Korban at night wasn't really a Korban, but
Right.
burning up from the day before,
Right.
then why do we consider Mariv at Tfilah at the beginning of the next day? I mean, we start at night. It's really a Korban though from leftover.
So it's a very good question. The Gemara says by Kachim, normally according to the Jewish calendar, the night precedes the day.
Right.
Friday night, okay. By Karbanis, by Kachim, the night follows the day. That's why look in any Korban we say in Ezel Mekayman, L'yayim v'layla, L'shnei yamim v'layla. So by Karbanis, the night follows the day. Unlike by everything else, the night precedes the day.
Why is that though?
Because God said so.